Hey guys, and welcome to your February 2020 Tarot Creativity Forecasts. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for artists, creatives, entrepreneurs, and anybody who is working on their personal growth or their spirituality and self-expression in any way. So if those areas of life are intriguing to you right now, go ahead and keep watching. I also want to give a really quick announcement about the Tarot Self-Therapy group course that we have coming up. I will put all of the information below. This is a course that starts actually this month in February, and all of the information again will be in the link below this video. It's essentially a course that takes you through really forming a deeper personal relationship with your deck from specifically a self-therapeutic perspective. So we're going to be working with the cards in a very gentle way, getting to know the archetypes and exploring the archetypes and their ins and outs very in depth, and also working with self-healing spread work and how you can really use tarot as a self-healing tool. So if you're looking for something to indulge your curiosity in, especially when it comes to tarot and divination or even healing work in general, this course could have a lot for you. And we also do have a group where you can chat with other participants as well. Alright, so that information is below the video. Let's get right into your reading. Okay, Pisces, first of all, I want to say happy birthday to my February Pisceans. I hope that you have an amazing birthday season coming up, and those of you with March birthdays, you as well, but I'll be seeing you again before then, so happy birthday to all of you, though. I think this is going to be a really special time, and I want to share with you the channeled information. So while I was tuning in, I asked for some guidance for Pisceans and sort of what you need to know about this upcoming phase. And while I was tuning in, I actually was given this impression of, and it's really kind of specific, so I think it's more of just an example, but it's almost feels to me like there's some kind of natural next step that you're coming up to in your life that almost relates to like life stages that you're going through. So some of you could be considering becoming a parent, for example. That's like one natural sort of life stage transition. But it could also be in your business. For example, if you run a business and it's gotten to a certain point, it's like maybe a larger business or whatever, you could be like at that point where the next natural stage of growth would be to take it public or, you know, something along those lines. So I hope you kind of get my point, and the feeling that I was getting though in the meditation is like, this is the next most natural chain of events. This is your natural growth that's happening, but as you're coming up to it, you're almost kind of like, wait a minute, like this is weird, like am I really doing this? Because you almost kind of expect yourself to maybe do something different, or you expect yourself to do something or keep life a way that it has been, or to veer off and do something that's like very personal to you and very unique. And I feel like the surprise energy that's coming up in your season is that actually your natural life cycle is taking an unexpected turn, but the turn is in a very like natural way. So I don't know how else to kind of describe it. I hope that you're sort of able to meet me like where I'm at as I'm describing this, because it's very unusual energy. This is a very distinct message. I've never gotten a message even remotely like this before, so it's kind of hard to put into words, but it's almost like you're shocked, but like other people around you are like, no, that's normal, that's like what's supposed to happen. And it's like but you're somehow shocked by it, or you're somehow kind of really surprised because it's something that you weren't necessarily expecting. But from the outside perspective, it almost seems like that's what's been building up this whole time, or that's what your life has been building up to this whole time. So there could be some big shifts coming in for many of you. But I also feel this shift is actually bringing in some new stability in your life. So you could be, for example, looking to buy a house, or you could be moving, or you could be, like I said before, becoming a parent, or having some kind of symbolic element of becoming a parent, like maybe you're having a book baby or you're starting a business that's going to be, something that you devote a lot of your time into, and you're sort of growing it up. You're like raising this idea or this concept or this platform up. And that's going to require a lot of the same, creative energies for you as an individual. So whatever it is, I feel like there's just something that you're not really expecting. It feels like a turn of events, but it's actually really the most natural thing that could be happening. And you're being asked to kind of just accept it and embrace it and go with this like shocking new reality, because I think that it's actually totally in your benefit. And I feel like it really is up your alley. It's just not something that you really anticipated. So let's go ahead and take a look at your cards and we'll get some more specific insights into this. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Okay, beautiful. So this is the After Tarot. And I'm going to also get you your Animal Spirit Oracle cards, so pay attention to these creatures where you may see them or their likeness in the coming month, as they will be bringing additional synchronicities and messages. All right, let's take a look. We've got raccoon. That is so spot on for the energy that I was feeling with cheetah. So, oh my gosh, Pisces, I freaking love reading cards. I really do. It is just the spookiest thing how so often the energy that I'm picking up in the meditation immediately shows up in your Animal Spirit Oracle cards. Those cards in particular are so just amazing how they reflect. So the raccoon is that hesitancy, right? Like the raccoon, especially the one in this deck and the way that Kim Kranz illustrated it, this raccoon is sort of shy. It's kind of pulling back. It's holding itself in, the shadows. It's a creature of the night mostly, so it kind of is trying to kind of conceal almost itself. And a lot of times the raccoon card comes up when our skills, gifts, talents, and maybe even like things that we want to do or things that would be incredibly expansive experiences for us, we're like shying away from sharing that, or we're shying away from engaging in that because we have this natural sort of inclination that we need to hide our gifts. Now there's a lot of reasons why that could be happening. One of them could be like a deep kind of inbuilt sort of fear around being too shiny. Like that can definitely be a theme with this card. You could be holding back because you're afraid of outshining other people around you, or you don't want to take away from what other people around you are doing. That can be part of it. There's also potentially a fear with the raccoon of kind of being seen in general, just being seen for who you are and what you do. There's also a sense of just like a natural, like a very kind of biological almost fear reaction to anything that's new. Right? And that's exactly what we were talking about with the meditation, is like something new is coming in. And though it is very natural for you, it's a natural next step, it's just not something that you were for some reason anticipating. Like maybe you didn't think you would get to this point, or maybe you didn't think that this would be how it would feel when you got there. And so there's something with this card of like recognizing that you are kind of keeping yourself in the shadows a little bit, but that it's going to be time soon enough for you to come out of those shadows. And that's where we see the cheetah as the influence. So one of the things I'll say about this is just the way that it's illustrated with the circles kind of reverberating out of the cheetah. This feels to me like a lot of vibration, like a lot of vibrational energy going on in this card. So it also feels to me like your influence and your energy and how you sort of manifest your energy in everyday life, like the way that other people pick up on your energy when they're interacting with you, like your attitude and how you react to things that people say, and your charisma and just your persona. Basically, there's something about that that is kind of being I'm almost getting this kind of pulsing energy, like something is sort of being amplified. Okay. The cheetah card in this deck, I also feel really speaks to like marketing ability and sales ability, and being willing to kind of think on your feet and be spontaneous when it comes to those types of conversations. And you know, my readings always focus so much on creativity and entrepreneurship because that's just a subject that's super close to my heart. So obviously I'm going to sense this as you being able to maybe market yourself more, or you feeling more charismatic, more kind of taking ownership of your strengths, and you're able to kind of be a hustler this month and really get out there and make things happen. Particularly once the sun moves into your sign, that's going to really be a powerful point in time where you could feel this energy shift kind of from the raccoon to the cheetah. And that would also make sense because when the sun is in Aquarius, that's in your 12th house symbolically. So a lot of times right before your birthday season, you will get this kind of season of really looking within and really kind of dealing with unconscious fears that kind of come up to the surface and become conscious, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I just want to run and hide and put my blankets like over my head. You want to make blanket forts, you know, in the living room. You don't want to go to work. That's how like the month is right before your birthday season. But then once your birthday season comes, you're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like, why was I afraid of that? Why was I dealing with these concerns, or why was I hiding? Like, this is great. This is freaking magical. So that's how you're going to be feeling, Pisces. I can tell. That's how it's going to be. So let's take a look at your tarot cards. Yeah, we got Hermit and 10 of Swords in the first part of the month, with the Fool and the 6 of Cups right around that Leo full moon. We've got Knight of Cups with the Ace of Swords and the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. Interesting, you're ending the month on 2 pages, when I also was saying that you would end the month, you know, as the sun moves solidly into your sign, you know, with the Cheetah card. That's really powerful. So definitely some new beginning energy at the end of the month. But until then, in the first week of February, we're seeing the Hermit and the 10 of Swords. So this is kind of about letting go of some things that have been, I want to say, like potentially with the 10 of Swords card, sometimes the things that we're letting go of, and of course it depends on your unique life situation, but sometimes with the 10 of Swords, what we're letting go of has been something that was really traumatic. And maybe we're healing, we're working through it, we're acknowledging it. It's not like we're just trying to bypass it and not look at it. It's not that kind of healing work of just pushing it off to the side. I mean, that's not really healing in any way, unless that's just what you need to do at that time. Like sometimes you do kind of have to just separate yourself from something. But this feels more introspective, obviously, because you have the Hermit card here and you have the 10 of Swords. So there could be some kind of dream maybe that you're considering letting go of, or there could be some type of like some aspect of yourself, I want to say, that you're ready to allow to kind of move on, like allow yourself to move on from. And the reason that I want to say that, and like the sense that I'm getting with these cards, is that there could almost be people that you habitually spend time with, or that you habitually seek to spend time with, that you're now, with the Hermit card and the 10 of Swords, you're recognizing that maybe always seeking out that type of friendship or that type of relationship is actually what has been draining you and burdening you, you know, this whole time. There's a sense with these cards of really looking deeper at your motives and asking yourself, well, if I constantly find myself, or if I've been finding myself occasionally even in friendships with people who really drain me, or who always have drama going on, or who have something about them that's consistent with other failed friendships that I've had in the past, maybe it's even a certain type of artist. Like there could be a certain type of artist that you're just like always attracted to, or you're always drawn to, but you never really seem to actually be able to have a deep and intimate connection with that person, or with, you know, that person who's doing that thing. You might be sort of asking yourself and wanting to look deeper at the symbolism of that. So for example, if you're somebody who is always drawn to, you know, hanging out with, I don't know, people who are poets, if you're really into people who write poetry, and you just notice that some of the most like people that you've wanted to be closest with have been, you know, spoken word artists or poets, you might start to really try and break down that symbolism and be like, well, why is that something that I've always been drawn to? Like, what does that represent in myself that I'm trying to seek in other people? And is that why the relationships that I've had with, you know, that specific type of person, is that why they're failing? Because I'm wanting to gain something that is in me that I'm not seeing, and that I'm not nourishing, and I'm not recognizing. So I'm seeking out these relationships with people who are very creative in a particular type of way, because I want to live out that part of me that I'm not willing to look at. You know, this is really deep stuff, Pisces, but I feel like there's something in here for you. There's some kind of key in this reading for you that really unlocks everything that you need to know about you. And ultimately, that's liberating, because you will no longer seek out and repeat these patterns anymore. Once you can recognize the unseen kind of parts of yourself that want to be heard, want to be nourished, want to be expressed, then you'll stop needing other people around you to express those things for you. And this happens even with really conscious, you know, creative people who are working on themselves. Like, we all have these types of like elements of our unconscious mind, of our deeper self. This is what we're here for. It's growth. It is absolutely okay to recognize these types of patterns and heal them and move on and forgive yourself and forgive all of the people that you have noticed this pattern playing out with, so that you're not needing anybody to take the blame, or not needing anybody to be wrong. You know, you can actually just be yourself fully. And I feel like that's a really beautiful thing. So yeah, and then you can also see very clearly we have this like the dark animal energy, like the dark symbolism of kind of being introspective. Sitting with the animals as well are, for me, a symbol, especially like a black animal like that, or an animal that's like shrouded in shadow. Very, very symbolic of the unconscious mind. So a lot of that kind of work, and I think it would be really useful for you to write down your dreams, and especially do your own readings for yourself, Pisces. If you have a tarot deck, or if you use runes or a pendulum or any other type of divination, I think it would be really beneficial for you to work with that in a very private way, because I think that you will discover a lot in this like very rich time period right before your birthday season. Now, as we go into the second week of February, we've got the Fool and the Six of Cups, which is really cute, and I feel like this is kind of a breath of fresh air. Right around the full moon that we have in Leo on February 9th, I think that you're going to start to feel some new energy coming in for sure. I think that this will possibly bring up either like relationships from your deep past, could be like family members or people you grew up with. There could also be like somebody new coming into your life, because it's the Fool, but who feels really familiar. So either way, I definitely get like a sweet kind of nourishing healing energy coming in with these cards. And I think it's going to be important for you to engage with your inner child and do so in a way that is like going to be happy for you. Because sometimes with the Fool card, with the way that they've illustrated it in the After Tarot, which is nice, I think, but it also kind of takes away some of the like other meanings of the Fool card. But he's kind of hanging off the side of the cliff, so he seems like he's in more of a precarious situation in this particular rendition. But I think as long as you are engaging with, I want to say, elements of your past, or your inner child like healing work that you could be doing, as long as you're engaging with that in a way that feels appropriate, like it's not going to necessarily take you to like a dark place or anything, I think this would be fine. I also feel like there's something with the kids like running in the other direction and then this guy kind of hanging out. I think that there is something where you could almost feel like you could be, what's the word? You could be on your own, but feeling like the sweetness of togetherness, but you're on your own. I don't know how else to describe it, but as I'm looking at this, it's like I do feel that there's potentially like good friend energy coming in from your past or a new friend, but I also feel like at the same time there's this sense of, you know, maybe distance from some of the people that you usually spend time with, or some of the people that are like currently have been more influential in your life. And so in that sense, you could be still spending more time on your own, even though you are inviting maybe one or two kind of new relationships or refurbishing like a really, really old relationship. But you're spending less time with the people that you normally have been spending time with. So there's a sense of like really relishing though, like your aloneness and knowing that it's different from the concept of like isolation, right? Or loneliness. Like it's not that, it's enjoyment of being with self. You know, being with yourself is different than the definition of being alone, right? Like what we have in terms of our connotations with those ideas. Like when we think of being lonely or alone, it's different than when we say, I'm hanging out with myself tonight. Because when you're with yourself, you recognize the value of that. You see that you're not actually alone because you have yourself. So that's kind of what I'm getting with that. I hope that makes sense. Okay, by the third week of February, we've got Knight of Cups and the Ace of Swords. So I can feel that the energy is starting to shift in a positive way for you. With the Knight of Cups, I feel like things are getting moving, and the message in the third week is to take some time out and really get clear on like how you want to use this energy, because you're about to get a burst of creative energy, or you could be about to get some extra free time that you don't normally have. And so as you get into the third week of February, it's time to get really strategic, because either you're going to have more energy coming up or you're going to have more time. And you want to really use that to your advantage. So I'm not really sure what it is that's coming in, but I do feel with the 2 pages at the end of the month, for some reason, you're going to have more of an ability to pursue things that you're curious about. You're going to have more time to engage with topics that really make you feel alive, and you're gonna have more time to master skills that you've been working on. So I don't know why that is, if you're just having some schedule changes, or if you're quitting one of your jobs, or if you're taking off some of the responsibilities off of your plate, but whatever it is, you're gonna have some leeway. And so you want to, in the third week, in preparation for that, really think about how you would like to use that. Because if you're somebody who's typically really busy, you want to definitely make the most of your free time that you do get, so that it can really pay off in dividends for you later on. Not just in financial terms, of course, you know, we all need to make money, but there's something here about the Ace of Swords that's kind of giving me this impression of like your higher self, and what your higher self really wants, or what your higher self really feels about how you're spending your time in your life. And that's like something that will really, it has the potential to really change your life, because our time is just our most crucial, most valuable asset. So how you spend your time and what you put your attention on is really, that's the ultimate choice that we all have as creators and as human beings. So I want you to take some time out in the third week to really think about that from a higher perspective. Maybe make a couple lists throughout that week and refine things and prune things back, and really just be in a place of awareness of really what you do with your time. I mean, are you wasting any time? Are you spending too much time scrolling on social media or listening to music when you could be listening to an educational podcast? Obviously, you're a Pisces, you have to listen to music. Like, you guys are just the most music loving sign ever. But I think there's also a place for some of the other ways that you can, like, I guess, fill your mind. Like, there's something that wants to come in, but it needs room. It needs room to come in. So what are you going to sacrifice, or what are you going to modify in terms of your everyday life in order to make that possible? That's really what I see the conclusions are in the third week. And then the fourth week, at the end of the month, we've got Page of Wands and Page of Pentacles. So this is, again, a kind of a student energy with the pages. I think of the Page of Wands as one of my cards in the deck to represent like an art student. And I think of the Page of Pentacles as almost like a business student. So definitely a lot of creative playfulness coming through at the end of the month. There could be some new options that you're considering, or maybe somebody is sharing tools with you that you can use to make something for yourself. Again, I'm coming back to this very enterprising, productive, efficient, I want to build something for myself. Like, that's the kind of energy that we're seeing here. I also feel like there's the potential that you could be, and this is a pretty specific message I feel for someone out there, but I'm looking at the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, and I'm seeing that there's kind of two ways that you can experience the energy at the end of the month. So there is a window opening. There's an opportunity for you, either it's more energy or more time towards something that you're excited about creatively. But I feel like there's also going to be, as there always are, some disadvantages or some inconveniences. And so you can be like this guy, he's kind of looks irritated and he's kind of walking off, and you can see the bales of like hay that he's rolled, and he seems kind of irritated with himself or irritated with the day. Whereas this guy, this page has the pentacle, and he's looking down at this little magical being right here. And he looks like he's kind of seeing the magic that's going on around him, because he's kind of looking more outward, whereas this one's attention appears to be more kind of in his head. Like, he's in his head, he's judging things, he's saying, she shouldn't have said that, or that person should have said this, or, they handled that situation poorly. This person's in their head judging things, and this person is looking at what's going on around them and kind of enjoying their surroundings. So the fact that that distinction stood out to me just now, it's not necessarily always something I would pick up on with these cards, but I do feel that since it is coming through, it's important for someone out there to really just remind you how freaking blessed you are, and not to lose your sense of presence and your sense of being in the moment and your sense of appreciation for life and for what you're able to do, just because there's some inconveniences, or because maybe somebody says something rude, or somebody's not being very sensitive to other people, or whatever. This is about kind of just letting things roll off your back, or even really just not paying attention to like stupid bullshit basically that could just kind of make you more frustrated and that you don't have control over anyway. It's like, just look at the blessings that are coming in, focus on your own growth, focus on your own self, focus on what you're doing, not what anybody else is doing. And that's really, I think, the way to find happiness, not only just this month for Pisceans, but actually just in life, is to discipline our minds enough that we don't look at what other people are doing, we don't compare ourselves to other people, we just focus on our own growth, our own journey, our own attractiveness, our own charisma, our own genius, our own ideas, our own passion. The more that we can be disciplined in ourselves of paying attention to that and recognizing the infinite wellspring of freaking beauty and excitement and adventure just contained within your own skin, that's what's going to make you happy, Pisces, not looking at other things outside of you and wanting everybody to behave themselves or everybody to be sensitive and kind and empathetic and loving. Like, everybody's not going to do that, and the best thing that you can do is really just focus on you and your own growth. So that's kind of what I'm getting. I hope this reading has been helpful for you, Pisces. I am sending you guys so much love. Please let me know in the comments if something in this reading was beneficial or struck you in a particular way. I would love to hear it. If you'd like to let me know that you're still with me, you can always leave me a little blue heart and a little fish emoji for Pisces if you want to. I always love receiving those, and it just gives me so much joy to be able to heart your guys' comments back, and I love it. So you can always let me know that in the comments. You can like this video, you can share it with a fellow fishy friend if you know a Pisces who could benefit from these messages. And if you want to say thank you, if you get something useful from these readings, you can always choose to donate any amount to this channel. Even just $1 is so fantastic and so supportive for all of the time and energy that it takes me to put these readings together every month. And I'll also put the Tarot Self-Therapy information below if you'd like to join us for this round. Sending you guys so much love and light. Hope you have an awesome month. Take care of yourselves. Happy birthday. Mwah. And I will talk to you later. Bye.